It started as a knock, not very loud, very soft, tapping behind my ribs. Honestly, I ignored it because it's like when you're busy, when you're like, I'm fine. And when we're functioning, we just go on, right? But then the knock kept coming back, and sometimes it was tension in my jaw, sometimes it was a weight behind my eyes, and sometimes there's an ache behind my sternum. But I told myself, oh my gosh, it's just stress, it's just hormones, it's everybody else around me. But it wasn't. It was an emotion, persistent, patient, curious, waiting for me to listen. Different experiences happen in our life, different faces, and yet there it is, the same emotion, the same wave, the same ache, the same loop. But what if it's not haunting you? Maybe it's hunting for you, a message your body keeps sending, hoping that you will open it. Today, we're going to crack case file number 18, the emotion that keeps coming back. So stay with me because at the end, you'll know how to read the emotions in your body, but you'll also know a powerful question that I asked that stopped the emotional loops in my life. So why does an emotion return? Well, emotions don't just vanish when we ignore them. They wait, they loop, they knock. And when a feeling keeps coming back, it's not broken code. It's a message marked urgent. The feeling resurfaces because it was never fully felt, never expressed. So it's tethered to a memory stored in your body, even when your mind has moved on, because your body is your most loyal messenger you'll ever have. That's why emotions resurface, not to haunt us, but to heal us. And they keep knocking because the message is still valid. Neuroscientist Dr. Candace Pert discovered that emotions are not abstract. They're actually these molecules of intelligence, these chemical messengers that are moving through our nervous system, through our immune system, through our endocrine system. So when we suppress emotion, those molecules don't disappear. They keep sending the same signal over and over again until that message is acknowledged. I see it like this persistent child. Like, have you ever been on the phone and your child is like giving you the finger, like, mom, 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 mom? And you're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Now, if we take a second and ask what is wanted and give an answer to that child, then they run away happy, or depending what the answer was, right? But if we resist and don't pay attention, yeah, they may go away for a minute, but they're going to come back again. And it's going to be persistent until we address them. Now, Dr. Candace Pert says that the body is the unconscious mind. And when we get really curious about what's repeating, that's when we're able to decode the message. And what if you're unsure what the emotion is? Well, last week we introduced the Wheel of Feels. So you can download that for free in the description. What it has is the primary emotions, but then it goes a little bit deeper. So I may be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm just angry. But really, when I look at those, when I feel into it, no, it's actually more accurate that I'm worried. The body leaves clues. The body doesn't speak English, it speaks sensations. So a tight jaw might mean that, anger that I'm trying to speak, or that fluttery stomach could be the fear asking for safety, and that heavy chest could be grief that just needs room to breathe. But before you explain it away, pause for a moment, get curious about it. Notice in your body where you're feeling it. Stop and scan. And you're going to find that that emotion is the stubborn, it's just feeling unseen and it's looping and waiting for you to look at it. So a friend of mine had migraines every time she went to visit her family. And she thought, oh, this is just hormones. But when she stopped and really got curious about it, she realized her pain was actual physical version of being unheard and unseen. And the emotion she was really feeling was resentment. And when she was able to label it, the migraine started to dissipate. Now, just because we label the emotion doesn't mean it takes care of it, doesn't fix it, but it does free it up to start moving. So neuroscience call this affect labeling. Just by labeling it, we can start calming down the amygdala. Remember, that's your emotional center. Just by naming your emotion, calms it down by 40%. That's huge. So how can you take care of that emotion that's your frequent visitor? Let's say the emotion that you're feeling is rejection. Well, that rejection has an experience attached to it. If we were able to go diving down into our subconscious in our body, we find there's all sorts of experiences, and every single one of those experiences has an emotion tied to it, and it also has situations and people attached to those. If you have an emotion that keeps popping up, it's an emotion that's saying, hey, look at me, evaluate me for a minute. And then we're going to try to transmute that emotion. It wasn't mean to transmute. This is like a cool definition. Is to change in appearance or form the nature of it, something, usually to a higher level. So we're going to go down in and try to transmute the emotion that we've wrapped around these experiences to a higher level so that it doesn't affect us as much. In fact, in many instances, it frees us to be able to act and react in life so much differently. So when we were little, we didn't have a lot of control. So a lot of times we haven't even been able to express how we felt about that. And we just stuffed it down into our little bodies. And it's been affecting us ever since. So when we go in and transmute, it isn't necessarily a one and done. Sometimes it's a layering. We're taking off one layer at a time. But I love what Dr. Edith Edgar said. She said, impression without expression leads to depression. In other words, if we haven't been able to vocalize how we feel about something, our emotions wrapped around a life experience, we suppress it, stuff it down in our body and all the neurons that have recorded everything. And it can lead to depression and other things and physical ailments, quite frankly, because the body is giving us signals. Where you feel it in your body, it's giving you a message. Think back on your earliest recollection of an experience when you felt rejection. What was that experience and who did it involve? We're going to give voice to how you felt about it. Now, there's a caveat here. This is not going to be done face to face. You're not going to confront someone because how much control do you have over another person? What if you came to them and expressed how you feel and they're like, well, you're crazy. That's not even how it happened. But reality is one thing, but perception is everything. It's your everything. It's how you remembered it. So we don't have control over other people. We do have control over how we remember things. So this is not a confrontation. We're going to do two different ways, and you decide how you want to do it. One would be we're going to journal out 7 steps. Or you're going to go out in nature and you're going to talk out 7 steps. Either way is valuable. But we are going to move the emotion up and out so that you can express instead of repress. So you ready? Okay. Hope you're writing down these steps because there's 7 steps. Whether you journal them or express them, they are the same. Step number 1, you're going to write, this is what happened and how it made me feel. So you're going to gather all the information and like, this is how this whole scenario came about, and this is how I felt about it. Remember, do not hold back how you feel because you're not sharing this with anybody. Express it, get it out. Because if you can think it and write it, it's down in there for sure. Now, the second is because I feel this, it has affected my life in this way. All right, you're going to express, okay, this is my perception of how this affected me, what this did to my life, maybe the things I gave up or the things I couldn't do or whatever it is. Because I felt this, it affected my life this way. Number 3, here's what I never said. Okay, what else? What else do you want to say? What else do you want to articulate? This is the unsent letter, right? And remember, we are not giving this to anybody, but you are expressing it out. Number 4, you're going to draw a line on your page. And on the left side, you're going to put down, on the left, I want to release this. And on the right, this is what I choose to feel instead. So if maybe rejection is something you're working on, okay, I'm releasing this rejection and I want to feel acceptance. Believe me, when you start articulating or expressing, especially if you're out in nature and you're screaming this and crying this and yelling or whatever, it's amazing how you can start saying, no, yeah, acceptance. This is where I'm going, or the opposite of what the emotion is that you're clearing. Number 5, I want you to identify a strength that you now have because of that experience you went through. You might be going, well, wait a minute. That was like super hard. You don't understand. I mean, this like destroyed me, or I lost friends, or I lost money, or whatever. because of this. But no, I want you to stop and think, what did I learn from this? What did I learn? You might have to dig deep and say, well, I now have more empathy for people. I can spot people that are going through this and I can help. So I guess that's become a strength of mine. But dig deep, what learning did you have? What awareness did you have? What resolve came from this? What patience, what tolerance, etc. It may seem strange to be able to say there's a silver lining here, but there is a learning here. No experience is ever wasted unless we choose not to see what the learning was. It does not say that the learning was easy, convenient, traumatizing, whatever. It's what we're saying is there is something that you became because of it. And as you sit and get curious, amazing revelation that you can have around that whole scenario. Now, number 6, you're going to seal it with, I no longer carry that emotion in regards to that situation, that person, that whatever. Declare it. I no longer carry that with that. I am transmuting this. And number 7, you're going to close it with gratitude. That's your chemical stabilizer. That's going to bring in the endorphins, etc. And that gratitude could be, I'm just grateful that I was able to express it, to get this out, to voice it, to be able to explain it. Now, again, it may not ever be just a one and done when you transmute. This might be one layer that you've gotten off and you're going to have to address it with other situations. Now, if you don't feel like transmuting, that you can't get to that step 7, go back again and do more voicing, more expressing, until you can come around to the point where you can end in gratitude. Why is it important to end in gratitude? To place your body chemistry in a different position. According to Dr. Pert, each emotion has its own chemical cocktail. So fear releases cortisol, love releases serotonin and oxytocin, and gratitude releases endorphins. So every time you evolve an emotion, you change the chemistry in your body and you rewrite the body's emotional code. So try this. Ask that emotion, if you could speak, what would you say? And if you could evolve, what would you want to become? To become a conscious creator in our life, we learn to read the body signals and recognize the gift it is to be able to recognize an emotion, attach it to an experience, and then transmute so that it no longer has the power that it's had in our life. Now, here's the really important piece. That paper that you just wrote out, you're going to finalize it by ripping it up or burning it or drowning it in water, whatever you do, but you're going to give evidence to your brain that you no longer hold this, that you no longer want this to be a weight or part of your body that's having to knock and say, hey, I'm your messenger. Please read the message. And remember the knocking I said I had behind my ribs? Well, I finally stopped avoiding it and got curious. And I asked, what do you want me to learn? The answer was simple. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to heal you. And just like that, the knocking stopped. Because emotions aren't enemies, they're our allies. And they don't seek revenge, they seek solution. And when we listen, they loosen. And when we express, they exhale. You can't heal what you won't feel, but you can feel without fear. And when we do, the body finally completes that circle. Now, next week, we're stepping into the emotional alchemy lab. So put on your lab coats, because next week we're going to explore how emotions become energy, how you raise your frequency and you brew up these fabulous chemistries of courage and calm and joy. And oh my gosh, that's how we become conscious creators. And until then, guys, stay curious. Your body's not betraying you. It's briefing you. Okay, case number 18. I think that file is closed. I'm Rozanne Marsh. Thanks for coming, guys. See you next week. Tally ho.